rentcalculators.org site. Okay? www.rentcalculators.org. And you've already been here. This should not be a new place for you to go to. You remember you're looking for the online graphing calculator. Okay? So you should go ahead and have that up on your screen. And what we're going to do today is we're just basically going to graph exponential functions. And so a little bit about exponential functions. The first one we're going to look at is what's an exponential growth function. That means something that grows, it gets bigger exponentially. And so if you notice what it says, it's got a parent function which is b to the x, where b is any number bigger than 1. So it could be like 1.1, it could be 2, 3, 4, etc. It just has to be bigger than 1. Okay, the other thing is the graph is continuous. What that means is that it doesn't have any breaks. Okay, if you were to drive your car along this graph, you're not going to fall off. 1 to 1 means for every 1x, there's exactly 1 y. And the function is increasing, which means that it goes up. Domain, all real numbers. Remember, domain is your x values. Or another way to view the domain, that's your left to right. Okay. The range here is all positive real numbers. That's your y values. And that's top to bottom or up and down. Okay, up and down. There's an asymptote, and that's like an invisible fence or a boundary, and that's at the x-axis. And then the intercept is at 0, 1. Okay, so everybody should be at that calculator site, and we're going to go ahead and I'm going to want you to graph this. Now the question is, how do you type this in? You're going to use the caret key. Okay, so go ahead and type in y equals 3 to the x power.
We have to put y equals something that's already there.
Oh, the y equals is already there, so just put 3 caret x. I'm sorry.
That's why we type.
Yeah, I'm sorry. The y equals is already there, so just all you're going to have to do is the 3 caret x. Now, when you graph that, you should notice this looks very familiar to the one on the very first page, right?
Yes.
Okay. So a little bit about the graph. I'm looking left to right. What would my domain be, left to right? Okay, if I look left to right, doesn't it go all the way to the left? It keeps going all the way to the left and it goes all the way to the right, right? So domain will be all real numbers. Okay, the range is up and down. What's the lowest it goes? 0. Does it touch 0?
Yes.
Oh. No, it actually doesn't. There's an asymptote there. And so the range is going to be y is greater than 0. And that's it's called an asymptote, which means an invisible boundary. And so it gets really, 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 really close to 0, but it really never touches that. Okay? So, and you can see that if you would trace along the graph, you'll see that it never touches 0. So let's try another one. Okay? So what you're going to do is you'll do 2 caret x, and then you'll do plus 1. Now what do you notice about this one? What's it look like it's done?
It's like it doesn't even touch the x-axis.
It doesn't look like it touches the x-axis, so really it has been shifted, right?
It looks like it touches.
How much does it look like it's shifted?
1.5.
Up 1. Where do you think the 1 comes into play?
Plus one.
Ah, the plus 1, that's exactly right. So we know it's shifted up 1 because of that number right there. So let's figure out the domain a little bit. Domain is left to right. How far left to right does it go? All reals. Yep, forever. So the domain will be all reals. Now the range is different because remember, since it's shifted now. And so what's the range going to be?
Y is greater than 1.
Y is greater than 1. Nice job.
How do you get the range?
The range is just up and down how far it goes. And so the lowest value on this one will be 1. The highest value is going to keep on going forever and ever. So,
How do you know it is at 1?
because that's what the equation stated. So let's go ahead and type in this one. We've got 0.1, okay? You're going to put a times sign in, and then you'll go 6 to the x. Oops, I'm going to have to put the x. And then you're going to put minus 3,
What's the time sign?
asterisk.
Oh, yeah, right. Sorry.
Okay. I don't even know if you'll need the asterisk, but anyway, make sure you put parentheses around the 6 to the x though. Okay? Now, real quick, before you even hit graph, what do you think it's going to be done?
It's gonna go down 3.
Down
Why do you
Okay.
make- Oh, 0.1. That was my big voice. Sorry.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, you do need the time sign in. And so if you look at this, it looks like it's been shifted. Let's talk about the domain. What's the domain going to be? All reals again. What's the range going to be, guys? Y is greater than -3. Good job. So you kind of get what you're doing here?
So we're gonna be less than.
It could be less than if it went down, but I believe all of these that you're dealing with today will be growth functions, which growth functions mean they will be going up. That's a good question.
Domain is up and down.
Domain is left to right. So here you go, page 456. I just need you to do 13 through 19 today. Should be fairly quick. You should be able to get most of it done now, if not all of it.